Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a legacy video every Friday. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Here, you can gain access to perks such as a continuously updated sideboard guide for Legacy Doomsday, as well as being able to send private messages. You can do so by clicking the link in the video description or going to patreon.com/NevilleShootMTG. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Martin here back with another Legacy video. I hope you're enjoying your summer, or I guess winter if you're in the southern hemisphere. I am playing a version of BUG-Doomsday that I previously dubbed Luca Doomsday, which is named from Luca Fasoli, the great Legacy Doomsday player from Italy who really favors Bug, and I think there's a lot to like in Bug, and I have made like very slight changes here, though nothing too significant. I'm playing a Nihil Spellbomb in the main deck, which is, I think, prudent. Like I said in the previous video, not only does this sort of interact favorably versus graveyard strategies in game one, but it also gives us a way to play around endurance in game one, which is pretty nice. I think Luca likes to play a duress on top of the two thought seizes, which I can totally get behind. I really like discard, but I think I thought that was the cut I made. Yeah, I'm not too sure what else I'd like to cut. The sideboard is sort of a smattering of different stuff here. I like I like having like the one Mistrise Village to make like blue grindy matchups a lot better. I like there's a lot of like Karn Forge decks right now, so I think Consign Memory is a reasonable inclusion. I added the Snuff Out after talking with my friend and fellow Doomsday nerd Kai Sawatari. Kai plays a couple of Snuff Outs right now to play against Nadu. So like being able to snuff out a Nomads with like Nadu on the stack or whatever is pretty interesting. This also is a pretty good card versus stuff like Initiative, which has been like creeping back into the format. Like there are more like suddenly Archon of Emeria is seeing play, and this is a pretty decent card there. Um, yeah, but I think the main attraction to green is probably Carpet of Flowers. I kind of want three, but then I also like getting carpet flooded is also sometimes an issue. So I think two is okay. It's sort of a reasonable point to be at. And yeah, a couple of Shieldreds to bring in versus the tempo matchups and just like the show and tell or whatever stuff like those kinds of matchups. If we ever run into like James Casau playing Grixis Control, I think Shieldred is a pretty good card there. Though that's not a reason to have her. But yeah, just all around a fine inclusion. I think we don't have the pivot plan here to become a creature deck. So versus tempo, we are banking on Carpet and Shieldred primarily. I think to make an impression there. Maybe like Veil of Summers is also fine. Well, I think that's probably it for the deck tech. Now let's go play a league. Okay, we're on the play for round number one, and well, yeah, I think I'm okay with this hand. I'm gonna play out the Nihil Spellbomb here, and I'm probably not gonna play around Wasteland, even though I could fetch Basic Island here and still have triple black. Because I think I do want black for Nihil Spellbomb, and this list doesn't play a basic swamp. Yeah, let's see. Yavimaya. Typically not in Reanimator or Oops All Spells. That still doesn't mean we can't get like some use out of this Nihil Spellbomb though. But this is typically a Wasteland deck, so a little bit concerned there. This could also be a main deck Endurance deck. In fact, it probably is. So if I like top deck a Doomsday right now, that would be pretty sweet. Okay, I don't, but the Force of Will is fine. Let's ponder, hope to find a Doomsday or a personal tutor. We get none of those. I'm going to shuffle this. Edge of Autumn. Okay. Like, if they just go Dark Depths here or Thespian Stage, then it's pretty scary. Flagstone's a little less so, but it is going to be coming. I'm going to fetch Undercity Sewers really want some action here. I'll take a Brainstorm. Okay, let's cast this. Okay, I think I'll get rid of Bayou and Lotus Petal. And then I'm going to cast Ponder here. Really want that Doomsday. Okay, Bayou, Lotus Petal, Thassa's Oracle. These can get shuffled away. Get a Lotus Petal anyways. We haven't shown them our hand yet, so they still have to at least marginally consider if we're like Demir tempo. They probably get what? Oh, just another Flagstone. So they are. It looks like they're trying to get like a grindy game going here. They're making moves. Keen-eyed Curator. Oh yeah, that's the interacts with graveyard thingy, but it's also like a 3/3 that can get pretty big. So, do I nuke my like blow this Nihil Spellbomb? I probably at least wait one more turn. Oh come on! 2 of the 3 cards I shuffled away with a Ponder, and this one is a 1 of. Yeah, bad luck. So I could use Edge of Autumn to ramp here, but I think I would rather have Edge of Autumn as a way to initiate the pile. Seeing as my opponent is giving me some time here, and like this, if we do draw Doomsday, like the only thing I think realistically that beats us is Endurance, and having the Spellbomb just sitting here in play is pretty sweet. But let's see. They are reclaiming away the second Flagstones here. Are they going to get something that kills me? Yeah, there's Stage. So if they have just Merit Lodge, or if they have Dark Depths in hand, well, I guess they don't even need that now because they have mana to activate Stage. So we do need to put Doomsday on the stack on this coming turn, or we will lose, right? Well, I don't know, maybe is that true? Because they tap to play the Knight. So let's say that they spend 2 mana activating Reclaimer. They get Depths, but it's tapped. Yeah, I don't think they can outright kill me. They are like just representing a lot of power here. So let's see. 3, I go to 15. The next turn they have 3, 6, 11. As it stands, that can become 12. Can this become a 4/4? They need to exile. Well, not currently. It can't become a 4/4, but that could change. Well, all right, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Personal tutor. Okay. I think we just have to go for it here. Do I have enough mana? Let's see. So I have. We have to get to the bottom of the deck because they can get Talon Gates of whatever it's called. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. 2 are going to be spent on the personal tutor and drawing, so that's 4. Then 1. And then 3 for the Doomsday, so 1 is left. So if their last two cards involve Endurance, I can't beat this. But I think that's just going to have to be the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, let's get Doomsday. And let's target the opponent. It doesn't really matter. There's nothing in my graveyard I worry about losing. But alright, so I'm going to be drawing the Doomsday here. If they have some way to shuffle my deck, that would be kind of unfortunate. Okay, Doomsday's in our hand. Alright, and let's put it on the stack. I can't beat Endurance, and I can't even beat it if they were to like jump the gun and like before I crack LED, because I will need 1 blank in my hand at least, so this Force of Will line is not going to work. Okay, so Edge of Autumn is going to draw Brainstorm. That Brainstorm is going to draw Consider, LED, and a Cycler. And then the Thassa's Oracle is going to be the bottom card. Thassa, Street Wraith on top, LED, Consider, and then Brainstorm. Okay. So I'm going to cycle here. I'm not going to show them the pedal yet. I would kind of like to keep information hidden as long as possible here to maybe force their hand. I do really worry that they have endurance in their hand. But I don't think, like, we don't have a line around this. Let's put back Force of Will with Consider on top. We sack or cycle the Shoot Wraith, sack LED in response. Cast Consider. Big pause from the opponent. Put Force into the graveyard. Put Thassa on top. Here we go. Once Upon a Time. Okay, so looks like they are looking. Now the other card in their hand has to be green, right? Because they can't hard cast the Endurance anymore. Let's see if they find it. They didn't. All right, sweet. Okay, so sideboarding wise, let's see. I don't think there's a lot here. Like maybe they didn't show us black mana, so like Veil of Summer seems kind of not so interesting. They probably play Veil of Summer themselves, so having black removal here is maybe not ideal. But I don't really have a lot to bring in for this matchup, to be honest. So maybe... And also, I don't think like it's worth it to... Like most of the time, trying to win with like removing their creatures is not like that viable a plan. Having said that, I think maybe a Daze can come out on the draw here, and we bring in the Snuff Out and the Abrupt Decay and call it a day here. I do like having the Nihil Spellbomb because, like I said, Endurance is the real deal here as far as cards to play against go. I also like having Jace here. I think it's a fine to be able to win with Jace. It's easier to beat Endurance with Jace than with Thassa. Excuse me. Alright, we get this hand. I'm definitely going to keep this. Oh, they're down to 5 cards. Yikes. If we draw like a fetch land or an Underground Sea, this is Doomsday on turn 1 or a Dark Ritual. And if not, then it's Doomsday on turn 2. Of course, assuming they can't like Wasteland us. I'll Force of Will definitely silence here. Oh, and they do have black. Yep. And I'm gonna pitch the Brainstorm. There's a chance, like I'd rather like have the chance to draw another blue card for Force of Will here. Okay, I didn't. There is a blue card there. Do I keep that on top? I think I do. And so I'm gonna play out the Lotus Petals here, just in case they have a second Deafening Silence. If they do, then I'm happy to have that resolve. I'll have to, I think, Force of Will a Collector Roof here, but luckily that didn't happen. Okay, so here comes Doomsday. Now, how slow can we really realistically afford to be here? Because if they just drop a Dark Depths next turn, then we can only pass like 2 times. Alright, I think we want Thassa. We probably want a fetch land. Let's make that a Misty Rainforest. And the basic island. How do you like that Alpha Beta Unlimited basic island art here? Now, right now, we lose to like a single Wasteland, which is not ideal. But we also just get to win if they don't have it, like untap win with Force of Will. Backup here, so what's the biggest risk? They are certainly a Wasteland deck, right? There's no doubt they are a Knight of the Reliquary deck. So this is like a pretty big risk. They didn't have Wasteland last turn. They would have Wastelanded me, I think, rather than play out the stage. So look, I think I'm actually gonna try and play it safe here and put in a Lotus Petal. But if that's the case, maybe like another land is just safer. Like Underground Sea, yeah. Like that cuts off Collector Roof as something I have to worry about. like Wasteland plus Collect Roof. All right, so put the 2 lands that can be fetched on the bottom, and then I guess Thassa, and I'll draw Misty Rainforest, and then like, what's this? This is Bowmasters. Okay, let's see. I go to 8. I go to 6 from the attack. I go to 5 from Edge. I take 3. Go down to 2 from Street Wraith. Is this the force? Because the thing is, if I do this, then I can't force later. Basically, I have to. I like I said, go to 8 from the ping, take 2 from the attack, go to 6, go to that's 6. Cycling Street Wraith takes me to 3. Fetching takes me to 2. Edge of Autumn cycling takes me to 1, and then forces off. I think I have to force this. It's basically this, or force is not a card anyways. And then like we could, if they have second Bowmasters, then we've lost anyways, and we would have lost anyways either way. There's Depths. If this is Loam, okay, never mind. We just get to win. Sweet. They have shown their hand. All right. They did mull to 5. The Bowmasters was the thing they sort of kept the hand on, and yeah. Let's just go ahead and put Dasan in play. Yeah, they mulled to 6. It's a 5 rather, and we had a pretty strong hand, so that was always going to be tough. All right, off to winning start. Let's go for round number 2. All right, so we're on the draw for round number 2 with a little bit of an awkward hand here with the Bayou as the only land. I think I'm going to mulligan this. And this is better. I will send back a Daze, I think. It's that or the basic island, and I think like having 2 Dazes maybe isn't ideal for us. Savannah off of Misty Rainforest. This screams Nadu. They get Dried Arbor. Ooh. Ooh. Alright. Turn 1 Doomsday, you say. I wonder if this is a Force of Will deck. Well, they just let this resolve. So I could just draw all Cyclers and Thassa. And then we lose to a Wasteland again. It's this, you know, that old predicament. I am actually going to bank on them not having, or hang on. Well, first of all, 2 Thoughtseize is incorrect. I was going to go for 2 Street Wraith, but seeing as I have Ponder, I could replace a Street Wraith with a Lotus Petal, I think. And then I don't lose outright to a Wasteland. So I would go play Island, Ponder. I have 1 untapped land. I draw Street Wraith, cycle Street Wraith into Edge, Edge into Edge into. That I didn't take my draw step into account there. Yeah, I think this works. I think I'm gonna make the second Edge a second Street Wraith instead, because if they have Wasteland, then it's a little bit sucky to have 2 edges. All right, so probably Petal on the bottom, and then the Cyclers on top of Thassa. Again, we're mostly concerned about an Endurance here. Like, they could also like drop a blue land and go Nomads and Cephalid Illusionist. They're not attacking. Who has Endurance? Maybe the opponent has it. Alright, let's draw some Cyclers here. Not having 2 Edge of Autumns also means my Daze stays alive here. But I mean, if they have Endurance, they have to pitch cast it, right? It would be quite mad to play into a Daze here. Who knows, maybe they have 2 Endurances. They are fetching here to make a move. Oh, they do have blue mana. Here comes 3 mana. Oh, okay. They thought better of it. Alright. Well, we got outsmarted. Or maybe outsmarted ourselves here. So this is Nadu. like Nadu elves maybe, like elf ball kind of thing. I don't know that. I don't think this is the force of will version of Nadu, but I could be wrong. Let's bring in the 2 removal spells here, like we did last game. Oh man, they almost did the whole tap out. That would have been sweet. I think I'll cut a preordain and I don't know. I kind of like Thoughtseize, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'll cut like a petal here. I also like the Nihil Spellbomb for the endurance we just lost to. Maybe it's actually the both preordains that can go, and then I'll keep the 4th petal. Yeah, I'll keep this very cantrip heavy hand. This is almost like criminal to keep this kind of hand, but I'm also really hard pressed to throw it away. Okay, I like the spell bomb and the 2nd land here, so let's play those or choose those. Then like Jace is probably just never going to be a Magic card to put into play outside of winning with Doomsday, but it is kind of a tempting card. Delighted Halfling, okay. This means Nadu can come down and be uncounterable at some point. Ponder, Dark Ritual, no. I think we shuffle these and we play the Spell Bomb. Because we are actually just dead to a Nomads and Illusionist combo next turn, or on this turn. So having the Spell Bomb is not too bad. Don't know if that combo's in their deck even, but I would assume that it is. Ponder, okay. So no Nadu this turn, that's good. Oh shoot, did I leave in my Veil of Summer? I didn't mean to do that. That's yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah. Sylvan Safekeeper, okay. That's gonna make it hard for me to snuff out anything. Okay, Ponder. Nope, don't want these. Let's cast Consider. Put Misty Rainforest into the graveyard. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm gonna cycle a Street Wraith. Oh my god. Drawing all the hits here. Yep, here comes Nadu. I guess I've just lost. Well, they only have 2 lands right now, but they can like snowball into more lands. Now they have 3 lands. But that is a pretty all-in kind of thing to be doing. Yeah, they're not doing it yet. Come on, Doomsday. How about a little Doomsday? Okay, I'll take Brainstorm. Come on, Brainstorm. Pop an. Oh, Willie, get the fuck out of here. No! Okay. We've lost. We can burn a Lotus Petal to cast an Edge of Autumn to shuffle here. Is that something we want? Let's put away Thassa. And, I mean, Abrupt Decay is practically textless here. So let's get rid of that. Alright, let's play Edge of Autumn. This is the sexiest use of Edge of Autumn that there is. And we pass. You get Dried Arbor here, I'd imagine. No, okay. Surveil Land. And they kept it on top. Okay. I'll have to Force of Will, something like Nomads. Yeah. Don't know if they have Force of Will in their deck. Or Flusterstorm or whatever. Oh, Veil of Summer. Okay, I am out of here. Wow. Deck did not cooperate. Alright. GG's off to round number 3. Alright, we are on the draw with a banger here. I'm going to keep... This is a turn 1 Goldfish here. But opponent is showing us blue, so we probably have to respect that. I'm going to fetch Basic Island here and cast a Ponder. And I would love to find a Force of Will. We don't. Let's shuffle these. I'll pass. This is obviously risky if they go like Entomb. Oh, okay, Basic Plains. Now this is also pretty risky. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic. How about a Daze? How about a Daze one time? Preordain. I'll cast the Preordain. Give them a chance to daze this. Doomsday, huh? I'll put that on the bottom and I'll draw the second preordain. And just looking for Force of Will or Daze here. And if not, I am still going to go for it. I'm just trying to give myself a way to find it. Bottom, bottom. Okay, we didn't find it. Let's see. Do they have Force of Will here? Looks like they've F6'd, so looks like we're lucky. Brainstorm, this is the standard pile. Consider LED Cycler Thassa. Okay, Thassa, Cycler on top, and then Brainstorm just has to be the top card. We cycle into Brainstorm, play the pedal. Oh, they had the Force? Wow, okay. Well, lucky for us, they chose to do it there, but we probably lose? I can't, no. Yeah, we do. Oh, they're not. They're not activating Stoneforge. So let's see here. LED is the top card of our deck. What was pitched here? Snapcaster, okay. So we're at 8. So if they have another Snapcaster, they can snap it in, and then... No, but then they don't get the 1 power from Stoneforge, so that's still not entirely lethal. So consider bin LED. We have to get the LED. Yeah, we have to get the LED because we don't have a second land to fetch. So I take 6, I go to 9, or to 3 rather. Alright, let's see if they have me beat here. We cast Consider. Put Street Wraith into the graveyard. Do they have another Force? Oh, they have Dress Down. Okay, nice. Alright. Let's put in a Snuff Out here. I think I like a Snuff Out. I think I like Veil and Abrupt Decay as well. I think I like Mysterize Village. Probably don't want Shieldred here. Okay, so we're going to cut down on some of the turbo elements here. We can cut, I think, at least 1 petal, probably 2, from bringing in the carpets. And I think I cut the personal tutors. And what's the last cut here? I think probably LED actually. That can come back to bite us. Like keeping an LED versus blue decks when you're on Veil of Summer and Carpet of Flowers makes more sense than when you're not. I like this. This sits well with me. So let's get Bayou, I think. This might be worth a Force if you're the opponent, but nope. Alright, let's not trigger this. Drawing the Veil is pretty good. Force of Will, Consign a Memory, Snapcaster Mage, Ponder. I think we just get rid of the Consign here. I mean, they can Snapcaster that, which is not the end of the world. I'd take a land here. Force of Will, nah. It's not the most exciting. I think I'm going to cycle Street Wraith. Land, good. Good. Or actually, no, not so good. It's basic island. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Alright. Yeah, they're just not giving me any mana for love nor money. Okay, we drew a land here. I'm not going to trigger the thing. This many basics we have to also worry about, like back to basics and Blood Moon, I think. Let's get Tropical, I think. No, let's get Underground Sea. That way we can sort of save the Lotus Petal. Now, if they have drawn like a Flusterstorm or something, or another Force effect, that's pretty bad, but I think that this is the line we have. Alright, so that just resolved. I think we try to win with Jace here. Let's put Thassa in there anyways. So Pyroblast on Jace is how, like, a way they can beat us here. Do I want Mysterize Village? I forgot to board out the Nihil Spellbomb. Yeah, that's the thing I need to be a little bit sort of more on point with. We are at 7 life as well. Like we have to be cognizant of them just like putting on the beats here. Maybe we just sidestep Thassa completely. I think I think we need to do that. I think putting in abrupt decay is acceptable. So the thing is, like, a pyroblast still beats Jace, so that's a reason to try and get to a point where you can like cycle to the win on top of like a pyroblast. Maybe consider is worth it. Yeah, let's try this. Something like this. Okay, so I think maybe Jace is even like the bottom card here. And we'll draw the Mistrise Village, I think. And then can consider away the abrupt decay if we don't need it. I don't think if you're them that you can afford to just like throw a Snapcaster away there just to get beats on when you have consigned memory in the graveyard. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to pass here. I don't want to show them the Mistrise Village quite yet. And the further along we can go for them to just not put pressure on us, the better, I think. Okay, they play Scalding Tarn. Do I cycle Veil of Summer here? Because I don't think I'll be needing it. So Veil of Summer draws me the Consider. Though Veil of Summer on the turn where we fight over Jace and stuff might also be kind of cool. I think I'm going to save the Veil of Summer. If I put Mistrise Village in right now, what happens? They might feel pressured, but I don't think they can, like, even if they flash in Snapcaster Mage right now, I don't think it matters. Yeah, here we go. Suck on that one. They still are only giving me 1 mana off of Carpet. Okay, it's time, finally, to bring the beats. So let's see here. If I cycle Consider, or if I cast Consider right now, I put Decay in the graveyard. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to not do anything right now. They have a second Snapcast. Oh no, of course not. They're brainstorming. All right, let's make the next spell uncounterable here, and let's cast Consider, and we get rid of Abrupt Decay. We draw Edge of Autumn, and then we untap. And I am going to trigger this now, actually. Let's make some blue mana. Let's make the next spell uncounterable, and let's cast Jace. So I can activate Jace. They Pyroblast him. I cycle Edge of Autumn. Then they need something else. I don't think they can beat that, but I could be wrong. If they have second Basic Mountain and they have 2 Pyroblasts, then that does it. Alright. I'm cycling the Edge of Autumn. Oh, they are doing something here. If it's a blue spell, then I can cast Veil of Summer, but I guess they can just force that. Brainstorm. Okay, what do I do here? Do they have a Stifle effect? They can't, like, Consigned Memory doesn't do it here. I could just cast Veil of Summer, and then they have to force that, so that probably doesn't do that much. I think I am going to do that, just, like, push the point here. We're showing them Veil of Summer. They can just look in our Exile Zone and see it anyways. Yeah, okay. So Veil is countered. How do you beat Edge of Autumn here? They have to somehow bounce Jace or like remove him. Okay, that didn't happen, so we win. Oof, that was cool. Now to win on game number 3 here. Nihil Spellbomb, I think we take that out. Do I board in Sheoldred here? They would have seen no creatures. I am actually kind of tempted to do that. Just sneakily board in Sheoldred, and I'll board out. What is it? Is Snuff Out good enough here? So let's see. Snuff Out hilariously doesn't do very well against Lavinia, which would be a creature they could have. I think I'm going to take it out. We have to bank on that just not becoming a thing. Unfortunately, I don't think I can keep this hand, so I'm going to mulligan. All right, I keep this. What do I bottom though? I think I bottom the abrupt decay. All right, so opponent goes fetch land. I think I'm pretty tempted to not play out my to not play out this carpet right now. I'm gonna cast a preordain off of basic island. Oh, and they are. Yeah, I think I don't want any of these cards. Have plenty of lands. Don't want Jace right now. Get a land anyways. Okay, pass. Let's see. Like a turn 2 creature here is probably what I'm mostly afraid of. Like even like Stoneforge Mystic would actually be pretty disastrous. Yeah, there we go. Like I'm gonna be under the gun here. Doomsday is sweet as. All right, this might just be a race here. Gonna get Bayou and cast Carpet of Flowers. That's in. Gonna trigger it for a. Actually, I should have cast Ponder first. I am gonna make black mana in case I find Thoughtseize here. I don't, but I find some interesting cards here. I thought I'd boarded out the Snuff Out. I'm gonna snuff this out. Heck yes. And then we're gonna try for Shieldred next turn and then Doomsday. Snuff out this. Okay. Pass. Okay, let's see what the opponent can get up to here. Another Stoneforge. Okay. Cryptic Coat. Do I just go for Doomsday right now, or do I go for the Shieldred? I don't think Shieldred does enough, right? But I actually do like it. It might give us a little bit of, and like it might flush out a Force of Will, first of all. Okay, that didn't happen. But then it also might pad my life total just a little bit. If they want to bring in Cauldra here, I take 5, I go to 10, but then I gain 2. And then I have a Ponder coming. Gains me another 2. And they missed their land drop. Let's try and make a blue mana here. Cast this Ponder. Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay isn't super duper helpful. But, like, if they choose to go for Cryptic Coat here, I think I just have to pass. See what they bring in. It's Cauldra. Okay. So I think I might just kill the Stoneforge before it can put more things in. Back to basics. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of rough. I guess we don't trigger this. I'm gonna put in Undercity Sewers. Wish I kept my Abrupt Decay. Let's get rid of this, and we'll pass. They're on a 7-turn clock here. I don't imagine that they won't just be able to pull out of this, but we'll see. Teferi. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna cycle this Edge of Autumn. Yeah, Teferi's probably just game here. Ooh, how about that? Like, I imagine they can force this, but then that's a force they don't have. Then I get to play Doomsday next turn? No, okay, they couldn't. Another carpet. I think I'll use that, thank you very much. Ugh, like, casting this Doomsday is basically making my lands into Lotus Petals, but I do have 2, like just reliable mana coming here. How about that? Okay, I'm gonna pass here. And I am gonna put Doomsday on the stack. Get an Underground Sea. And that resolved. Okay. So I could put in Abrupt Decay to kill their back to basics. That takes a turn off of things. Mistrise Village. This is good. We saw that. We have Jace that we might like. Edge of Autumn. And Street Wraith, perhaps? Something tells me they don't have white removal here, but I don't know. They could also have another Teferi, which is why they were just happy to let that get dazed before. Obviously, if they somehow sweep the board, if they have Wrath of the Skies and kill my 2 carpets here, I am not looking too pretty. Alright, let's see here. I have Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay is drawn, then we nuke the back to basics. It has to be on our main phase. So if they have another one, then that's That's not so good. Then we can draw Mistrise Village. Then we can draw Jace. Then we can, yeah, okay. I am gonna try this. We'll see how we do. A lot of things can go wrong. So let's put Jace and a Cycler in between each other, and then Mistrise Village and Abrupt Decay. Yep. And we're at 12. So if they can bounce Shieldred or Remover, otherwise then Narset. Okay. Narset makes things a bit awkward for my... And Force of Will entered the revealed zone. Okay. I will make black and green mana here and use my Abrupt Decay. So do I kill the Narset or the Back to Basics? I think I have to kill the Back to Basics, or it's going to be putting too much pressure on my carpets. Narset is basically another card, plus she makes my draw step like really awkward. And not my draw step, but like drawing cards on my turn. But on the other hand, like I can still draw one card on their turn. They don't have red mana right now. They are just also losing the game to the Shieldred. But like if they minus her here and find Teferi, it's pretty gross. I guess Teferi isn't even that sick. All right, that was fine. Consigned memory. Jace, okay. Well, I mean, they can bounce Shieldred, but I have a Mistrise Village coming, so Shieldred is coming back. But I guess then they attack me, I go to 9. They bounce again. They can bounce her. Yeah, that might just be good enough, actually. Oh. They are plussing me. Interesting. And chooses to use. That means they put Jace on the bottom, or Mistrise Village on the bottom. Right. Okay. I'm going to say no to these. And I am going to pass. Okay, now they bounce her. I could have cycled the Edge of Autumn there. Maybe I should have to gain a couple of life. Brainstorm. Okay, I'm just going to yield here. I don't have the time to... my clock is running insanely low. Okay. Lavinia, we don't care about. At least not so much. Okay, let's make mana. Let's make a lot of black mana. And then we play Shieldred, they force her, and then I yield. And now I think I can win next turn, but we're not out of the woods yet. They have 7 power on the board. I need to draw a card on this turn here. And I need them to not find, I think, Pyroblast. So a lot of things have to go right here. Oh, fuck, they found Pyroblast, probably. They're fetching, at least. What does that mean? Oh. Yeah, Pyroblast, I think this probably got us. Also, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. No, I fucking... Lavinia. Yeah, no, they have us here. Yeah, I forgot. So, the problem is going to be that I want Mistrise Village, right? Mistrise Village is currently the bottom card of the deck. If I cycle Edge of Autumn, I go down to 3 lands in play, meaning I can no longer cast Jace. This doesn't say that opponent who casts non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands get countered. It says that they can't cast them. So I can't even put it on the stack. Yeah, oh man. Brutal. The Jeskai control player got us there at the end. I don't have a move. Like if this was Street Wraith instead of if I'd stacked the cyclers differently. Let's see if they found their Pyroblast anyways. Like they can also just let this come into play. Yeah. Okay. GG's opponent. Oh, that was I think some cool games, but so if I'd stacked the 2 cyclers the other way around, I could have cycled Street Wraith going to 2 on their turn here. At the end of their last turn, that would have drawn me the the Edge of Autumn, I guess. And then I would draw Mysterized Village as my last card on my draw step, and I would be able to put Jace into play uncounterably. And then we still lose if their last card, one of the last two cards, is a Pyroblast. But that at least gives us a chance to then pass a turn and then cycle Edge of Autumn on their turn. All right, on to the fourth round. All right, we are on the play for round number 4 against a Yorion deck. I guess I'll keep this hand. It's a little bit vulnerable to Wasteland, and I'm gonna turn 1 Ponder here off of Underground Sea. Try to hit my second land drop. Well, the second land drop, but not really the one we wanted. And this Petal means eventually Doomsday with Personal Sewer, but I think I need to shuffle and try to hit a land. We don't. Wasteland here, thankfully not Wasteland. Okay, Aether Vial, so it's like Death and Taxes. Let's try Ponder again. Oh, come on, deck. Okay, I am actually going to keep this. I'm going to draw Lotus Petal, and then we'll see what the opponent does. Orcish Bowmasters would kind of blow here, but I guess ultimately not be the end of the world. Wasteland is what I'm most worried about, and I guess, you know, the classics like Thalia or Spirit of the Lab. Not too worried about this, though. Okay. We don't have the mana to also play this Thoughtseize, unfortunately, but this hand is pretty happy, though. This could also, like, still be a blue deck, and then they have us. But that would appear to not be the case. Okay, so we can cast Brainstorm. We can make a Jace pile that wins here. I think that would be kind of neat. Let's put a land in there, and we put the Jace. Okay, so we Brainstorm into Island Jace Cycler, and then the rest of the pile is just Cyclers. Alright, let's cast this Brainstorm. We put back Thassa and Jace. Play our land drop. And cycle this. And draw the Jace. And we target ourselves, milling the Thassa and a Street Wraith, and we get the second Street Wraith. Alright, cool. That wins us the game. So versus Death and Taxes, I guess I'll take these 2 removal spells. I'll board out Nihil Spellbomb and a Veil of Summer. You would kind of think they're on black, but we didn't see it. I'm not gonna play like they are until I know better, and I think we just send it with these. I think we can keep this hand, but it is decidedly medium. Opponent is mulliganing, and they're down to 5 cards. They probably have some pretty relevant cards for us, like Deafening Silence, and I don't know, like if it's mono white, I really don't know, but we'll see. I draw Snuff out. That's not the worst. Let's Thoughtseize them here. Thoughtseizing your opponent's 4-card hand. Stoneforge, Thalia, White Orchid, Phantom. All of these are kind of annoying. But I think I take the Thalia. I'll let them White Orchid me here, and I'll probably snuff out the Stoneforge. Deafening Silence. I will let that enter play. And let's cast Ponder. Well, Dark Ritual. Certainly something I would have liked to not see now with this Deafening Silence, but I will take the Doomsday. And now I also am hoping to not get Phantomed here, but to get Stoneforge Mystic. Boo. They do take the Phantom. Yeah, I would like to use this ability. I'll get my basic island. I will get Undercity Sewers here. And I guess like a land or a petal is my best draw. Ponder is also pretty good. Well, another Dark Ritual. We don't want that. I think I actually take the Daze here and then draw the Verdant Catacombs next turn. How much is this? Is 2/2? Yeah. I think I probably Daze this. I don't think they have like a crucial 2-drop in their hand. They would have played that over the Stoneforge. But now my life total is... I'm going to be at 7 from Doomsday. And then if I want to pay 4 life, that puts me to 3 to kill this thing here. But it might just still be correct to do. And what's my plan then? It's to untap, probably draw consider away a Street Wraith, draw edge, cycle edge into edge, into... I have the second Street Wraith in my hand. Alright, so I will draw consider, I'll consider away Abrupt Decay, draw edge, cycle edge into Thassa. That's going to be my plan. There are some things that we lose to here. For instance, if they have Doorkeeper Thrall, that's a big problem. Recruiter of the Guard, I'm not too worried about. That probably gets like Solitude here, which is a fine, I think, fine play. Oh, okay. Spirit of the Labyrinth is going to be great for them if they get another turn. Do I even need... I don't need to kill this White Orchid. It can just deal the 2. Alright, let's go ahead and win this. Put or Abrupt Decay on the bottom, or in the graveyard, I mean. Cycle Edge of Autumn. We make black. We cycle Edge of Autumn one more time. And then... Not sure what they would need to have here. Alright, so that's 2 and 2. So let's see if we can finish on a positive record. Alright, we're on the play for the final round. And I'm gonna keep. I'm not in love with this hand. Like having 3 sort of not very good magic cards in Thassa, Cavern, and Edge of Autumn is a little bit rough. And what's this? Oh, they revealed a Devourer of Destiny, so this is Eldrazi. Okay. Haven't seen this card in a little bit. So they exile some creatures. Wasteland. I think I cycle this. And then I probably cast Consider. Especially if I don't hit a land. Probably no matter what. I do hit a land. It's not the greatest of lands. Let's put Force of Will in the graveyard. Ooh, that was nice. Hey, deck, how about a Dark Ritual? No. Alright. Second Force is nice. I don't have to pitch the Thassa. Pitching Thassa is also not the end of the world. We have the Jace, but still. If they Chalice here, I think it's such a beating, right? I think I force here, and then they like Thought-Knot Seer me next turn or something. It feels really bad. But if I don't force here, and then they drop a Cavern of Souls next turn, that also feels pretty terrible. Let me just surveil first. If I see Dark Ritual, I definitely force. I don't. I think I let this happen then. I have the lands coming up, and just really hope they don't have Cavern of Souls into shit. Yeah, alright. I'll play out the Bayou here, and we'll see. Please not a Cavern, please not a Cavern. Also, please not a Wasteland. That's neither Cavern nor Wasteland, so that's good. Thought-Knot Seer. Get out of here. Alright. A Cycler would be probably my best draw here. Another land? That's not too bad either. So a lot of things we have to contend with here. I'm going to certainly put Doomsday on the stack. The first decision was whether or not to play out my Underground Sea or the Misty Rainforest. I decided to keep the Misty Rainforest as a fetch land to get a land out of the pile here. And that can be basic island. So what I'm going to do here, actually, I'm going to put some cyclers and a Jason here. And then, like, if they wasteland me, that means Jace is off the table. But then what it means is I can cycle Thassa, cycle and then put Thassa in play. If they Thought Not Seer us, they can take Thassa, but then we win with Jace. Alright, so let's see here. We make the pile, Street Wraith, Jace. And then Edge of Autumn. I guess that doesn't matter that much. Yeah, I think I like that. I guess if that's the case, then Edge of Autumn can be on top of Jace. Yeah, that's better. Alright, pass. We even have like Chalice for 2 beat here with the Cavern. But I guess if they Chalice for 2, then they're... And if they Chalice for 2 and Wasteland us, then yeah. Alright, that didn't happen. Looks like another Thought Nuts here, maybe? No, Glaring Fleshraker. Okay, that's fine. Second Fleshraker. Okay. I guess that's not so fine now. They can actually Fireball me out here. If they have the cards, but it looks like they don't. Okay. Okay, well, look, I'm not going to show them the Jace then. They don't have the mana to kill... to put Kozilek's Command on the stack. Alright, let's just put Thassa here, and we can fetch and cycle to clear the library if we need to. So we take game 1 against Eldrazi. Not a particularly pleasant matchup, I have to say. So let's see what we can do out of the sideboard. And I think the answer, unfortunately, is not that much. I think Consign of Memory and Force of Negation are reasonable additions here. Force of Negation can like help defend against the turn 1 Chalice. Let's board out the Veil of Summer. Let's board out the Nihil Spellbomb. And probably like a Daze and a Preordain. Or maybe 2 Preordain and keep in the second day or the third Daze. Yeah, I think so. We don't want to get into games where we're like casting Preordains for several turns, like casting cantrips, and it's also bad versus Chalice, etc., and so on. Okay, they keep 7. I think I have to mulligan this hand because it can't really fight against either a Chalice or a Thought-Knot Seer. Shit. So, how does this hand lose? It loses to turn 1 Chalice. It doesn't lose to anything else, I don't think. But it loses incredibly hard to a turn 1 Chalice. I'm gonna mulligan. Yeah. Okay, keep this. I mean, that was probably a hand like worth keeping. I don't know. I'm gonna put back the 2 petals. If they just go like land go, I'll be sad. But looks like they do have the Chalice. Okay, I'm gonna force that and be at 3 cards. Okay, how about Doomsday in the top 2 cards of the deck, please? And thank you. Nope, that's a Lotus Petal. Cycling Street Wraith. Hey, look at that. That's filthy. We're not at all out of the woods yet here, but that was pretty satisfying. Let's put in Thassa. Don't know that I can like reliably put Jace on the stack here. They've shown us Wasteland, but maybe, just maybe. Like, how much damage are we facing here if they go Thought-Knot Seer next turn? Then we untap, we draw like a Street Wraith. And they beat us down to 5, and then we untap, draw another Cycler, another Street Wraith. So that's fine. All right, let's see here. So in this world, we draw LED, we pass, we draw Street Wraith, and then we win with LED and Street Wraith into into Jace here. We lose to the creature that exiles the LED, but then we also lose to a Thought-Knot Seer. But I think we can make that choice. Like if they Thought-Knot Seer us next turn, which I guess they wouldn't because we wouldn't have a hand. Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's better to like because with LED we could also choose to draw the Street Wraith instead. But with LED, we at least get the choice if we want to put it into play and play around Thought-Knot Seer, or if we want to sit on it. Whereas Street Wraith can never play around Thought-Knot Seer. Yikes, Fleshraker. Okay, we might just lose here. We have to be at 3 life once we get our, not this coming turn, but the next one. And I don't have high hopes for that. Yeah, no, now we've lost. We just concede. This line breaker is gonna not kill us this turn, but we won't have another turn. Okay, well, that was almost good enough, but not quite. I don't think I change much here, which is to say I don't really think I change anything. All right, I'll keep this hand. And I'm going to play out the Petal here and a fetch land that gives me a lot of protection here underneath both Wasteland and like Chalice for 1 isn't that much of a factor here. I guess Chalice for 1 we can sign memory that. So they exile some lands and a Thought-Knot Seer. Here comes Lotus Petal. Could consign that, but not going to. Line Breaker, it looks like. I think I will consign that. Yeah, like we are going to be passing the turn here. So having this aggro creature in play or not is going to, that's pretty significant. That also cost them a Petal. Yeah. Let's put old Doomsday on the stack. And I think okay, I'm going to put a Cycler here. Just in case they Thought-Knot Seer us next turn. And then I'm going to put LED and then Jace. And then a basic island to fetch. And then I guess Thassa as a backup plan. So we will draw the Cycler. If they don't take our Ponder away or put Chalice for 1 in play, we will then cast Ponder, or rather we'll cycle into the LED, cast Ponder, and then put Jace on the stack. This plan beats Wasteland. And Chalice for 1 and Thought-Knot Seer are both now sort of active against this, or a problems we have to solve, but like if they go Chalice for 1 now, and then next turn Thought-Knot Seer and take our... Yeah, that'd be kind of annoying. This looks like a Chalice. No, Waterscape Battle Mage. Not kicked, so it's just a 2/2. Does it do anything else? No. And pass. I guess this means they have Disruptor Flute. Alright, I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith. They might want to Flute right now, just out of sheer panic, but it doesn't look to be what they're doing. So hang on, what happens if they Disruptor Flute Jace? Like after he resolves, that's kind of annoying. But I think that what they're going to do is they're going to Disruptor Flute with Ponder on the stack and me having sacked LED. That's most likely. And even if they do Flute the Jace, we still have Thassa we can Ponder into here. They didn't Flute. Fluty Flute. And if they Flute Jace, like the deck is going to be 1 card big, and I'm gonna like draw the Thassa next turn. So I think it's actually fair enough and fine and everything. All right, let's see. Do you have Disruptor Flute? Fluted now or forever hold your peace. Mind Break Trap. Okay, so that was it. All right, so they had Mind Break Trap. So now we have to hope to not get Chalice for 2 here. Also, Wasteland would be a little annoying, but we can beat a Kozilek's Command because of the fetch land. But I guess if they have flute as well, mind break trap, huh? I mean, if you're them, if you have flute, you have to flute right now, right? I don't have any cards in hand. We have Eldrazi spell being cast. Another battle dude. They are letting me get to my main phase. Okay. Well, let's hope this is good enough. All right. Thassa's in. And they just didn't have anything. All right, sweet. All right, all right, all right. All right, a 3-2 record. I have to say I really like this list. I thought the league went pretty well. Not maybe results wise. Losing to the Nadu deck is fair enough and everything. I can't remember the exact line, but in game one, oh yeah, I ran into that endurance, um, and that was perhaps not the best play on my part. But I think that matchup is probably pretty even. Losing to the Jeskai control deck with like Jason Mind Sculptor and lots of Snapcaster mages felt bad, but it was very close, and I think it we don't they had two unknown cards in hand. If one of them was a Pyroblast, which it could be for sure, then we would lose either way. But if not, then it kind of just came down to me stacking the cyclers wrong. And it also that's just a lesson that every like there are edges to be gained in a lot of places. I mean, I wouldn't expect like being able to predict that um, Lavinia is going to be coming down like 3 turns later, and that's going to factor in on your ability to put Jace on the stack is perhaps a bit of a stretch, but it is also like a way that game probably turns out differently. And what was gained by like putting Edge of Autumn on top of Street Wraith? Probably not a lot. I did it just sort of absentmindedly, not thinking it would ever really matter. So yeah, that's certainly something uh, to be cognizant of. But yeah, I think I really like Luca's way of deck building, and I really like this list. I'm if I had to go to like if Eternal Weekend was the like tomorrow, I would probably be looking at something like this. But yeah, so thanks a lot for watching. I also want to give a huge thank you to my newest Patreon members. So Nicolo Vella, Darth Dog, and Buena, thanks so much for joining the Patreon, supporting the channel, getting access to the sideboard guide. Like I think I said last week, I am working on a primer that is going to be a supplement to the sideboard guide, and I think it's coming along pretty nicely. It's going to have like how to build piles, basic like the training wheels for people just starting out, and but hopefully also some really interesting stuff for the more sort of enfranchised Doomsday player. So looking forward to working on that here during the summer, and I'll have that out later. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Everyone stay safe out there, and I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.